Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. Gentlemen, I tip my cap to thee. Today, the gentlemen of Gen Z are on my mind. And the reason is because I'll be exploring the channel Gent Z, which is aptly named to teach, I was gonna say to train, but I guess that too. They're creating a generation of gentlemen over on Gen Z, teaching them style, teaching them dating, teaching them the best items to buy on eBay, I guess. Everything you need to be a successful gentleman as a Gen Z person. Now, I am not Gen Z, just missed it, oof. I do feel like I often am speaking to Generation Z, as some call it. And I also think that maybe the men of Gen Z have felt underappreciated. You know, you've got your Andrew Tates and your alpha males of the world who are sometimes it feels like the only people talking to this group of men, but I'm here now. Jarvis is here and he's a gentleman as well. And I'm going to judge Gen Z's advice against my own advice coming from my noggin and my life experience. So your mileage may vary, but it'll be fun and weird. But let's just jump into it. Gen Z is for men who want to dress well, treat others with respect, and be the most excellent versions of themselves. Okay, sounds good so far. The mission of this channel and community is to create a generation of gentlemen, hence the name Gen Z. Channel founder James is 26 years old and lives in Chicago. When not working on the channel, he enjoys double-breasted jackets, playing the guitar, and sipping Manhattans. I'm more of an old-fashioned guy myself, but respect.
Just a few days ago, a new study revealed the male hobbies that women find most attractive.
This guy is a 26-year-old from Chicago? What accent is he speaking with?
And the results may surprise you. Some of the hobbies that we as men think women would go wild for.
The menswear guy on Twitter would be upset because he's wearing like, I think the wrong type of shirt for this jacket, but again, I'm not an expert. But this is a double-breasted suit. I'm not trying to make fun of this guy because I don't know what he believes yet, okay? I don't just make fun of people from the jump without them earning it first.
In this survey, women were given a list of 74 male hobbies and asked to categorize them either as attractive or not attractive.
It's very funny that this is like a thing that he made an 12-minute video about, because the study involved them ranking 74 hobbies, which doesn't answer the larger question, which is how much does it even matter? Like a hobby, you know? So if we're deciding like what the least and the most attractive hobbies are, is there a hobby that's just like a deal breaker for a relationship? Like, I don't think that's going to be answered here. And that feels like the most important question of all. Am I still going to find a partner if I play Magic the Gathering too much? Which is a real concern I have. Oh, it's just datepsychology.com. Okay, that sounds legit.
I was very surprised to see that reading is #1 on this list. Personally, I would think that a hobby is attractive if it demonstrates a particular talent or skill that's hard to obtain.
Well, but everyone doesn't. Everyone can read and everyone doesn't. I think this is also like the attractiveness of something is like how desirable is it, right? It's like aesthetic to have a partner who reads also because it's rare. Like it's a thing that's it's rare also these days, and not everyone can read. that's another thing. So shout out to people who can read, and also shout out to people who choose to read, because some of us can read and still don't.
Just take a look at the Instagram account Hot Dudes Reading.
That is very funny. If you don't think that men reading is attractive, look at this Instagram page. That's the kind of hard-hitting research you're getting from Gent Z. Before we get into that, we have a brief word from today's sponsor, Aura. I talked recently about how there have been so many massive data leaks recently between companies like Dell and Ticketmaster, and this unfortunately also happened to National Public Data, which had a 2.9 billion record leak, including full names, addresses, phone numbers, most dates of birth, and last but not least, social security numbers, which is bad. And the data was made available online, and now all of our social security numbers are kind of just floating out and about, and we want to be able to do something about that. To keep my data secure, I use Aura, which swiftly notifies me about any of my data being used by someone that's not me, from accessing bank accounts to opening up a credit card in my name or something of that nature. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points, including the dark web and public court records, to identify where it shouldn't be or if it's being misused, and can alert you to potential identity theft. Aura offers a ton of services that can keep your data safe, from VPNs, password managers, parental controls, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, identity theft insurance, antivirus, and the ability to opt out from those annoying data broker requests. All of this comes in one app at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. Head on over to aura.com/Jarvis and get a 14-day free trial where you can see what information about you has been shared online and do something about it. Thanks again to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video.
Women love seeing a handsome man buried in a book, and it does seem to be particularly a paperback or a hardback book instead of an e-reader.
That doesn't matter. That's just because it is better for picture. That's just because picture pretty. It's like it's not beating the aesthetic allegations. Reading is good. There's no like argument to be had about that. The picture of reading, the picture of man reading is just about how picture look. An idealization of picture. Picture, not reality. E-reader, fine. Paper book, fine. Hardback book, fine. Doesn't matter. Book on iPad, still smart. Okay.
Learning foreign languages. Again, this one surprised me. Although I can understand why it's attractive and beneficial.
Okay, so my read as a not psychologist, not data scientist, not whatever, all of these things are just ranked on how attractive it seems and not how attractive it is to like date someone who has these hobbies. So it just has the dating app problem where you like check a bunch of boxes where you're like, okay, I want somebody who reads and I want somebody who studies foreign language and does woodworking, right? Like woodworking is such a random ass hobby that is just like seen as like cool and masculine and interesting. I don't know that 94.4% of the people who answer this have had any experience with dating someone who does woodworking other than the aesthetic of what it like looks like in a picture, which is why I think this whole video is silly. Let's look at the study. Fine, I'll bite. Basically, women want a bilingual traveling blacksmith who does archery, gardens, and reads, or some combination like that. No, they don't. What is this website? That's got to be a joke, right? I feel like most psychological analyses don't go, basically, if I show up at a date and say that I'm a traveling blacksmith who does archery, it will elicit a lot of questions. And most of them are like, what, how, and why are you doing all that? I think being a blacksmith is not on the same level as reading as far as hobbies go. Reading is a pretty casual one. You can take or leave. Blacksmithing takes a lot of skill, expertise, equipment, or living in 1106. The least attractive male hobbies, the least attractive hobbies to women. I mean, these are just like the things that are like classic, right? Comic books, cosplay. How did cosplay catch a stray here? Debating, okay. Whoa, Magic the Gathering, let's fucking go! Is MTG Magic the Gathering? That is so fucking specific. Why is that in this study? Hey girl, you want a bad boy who engages in some hobbies you might not be fond of? We'll catch your boy participating in one of the top 5 disliked hobbies by women. Okay. Yeah. So you probably don't want to hang out with a guy like me. I'm from a different side of the cardboard or whatever. We also see strong congruence in the bottom choices for men and women. The bottom male hobby to women, manosphere, was watching manosphere videos. This article, this write-up, is just explaining what the labels are. This is embarrassing. I don't know if this is like a legit website, but this is providing no meaningful color whatsoever. You were just explaining the labels in paragraphs, and it feels like glorified fucking SEO bait. It's like this is not much more than a BuzzFeed list so far. Comic books was collecting comic books. Arguing online was arguing with people on social media. Who would describe that as one of their hobbies? Who would describe porn as a hobby? That's your hobby? And they don't explain whether that means watching or participating in, either of which is valid, by the way. But it's weird that they didn't explain MTG, which is the sole acronym on this page, but they did explain that arguing online was arguing on the internet. Now, I'm interested in finding off-ramps for people who are engaging in like very dangerous behaviors very harmful behaviors to yourself, which is arguing online. So if your concern is about being attractive to women, you could swap that out for collecting Funko Pops and it would be of equal interest. So you're not losing anything. You're still equally attractive. You're still equally as attractive to women. Just stop arguing online and pick up those big-headed collectibles. But do not play Magic the Gathering. Oh, okay. So the limitations are that the sample was a convenient sample of 814 participants. 48% female. So it's 400 women. God knows where they came from. We see a pretty even split for politics and feminist ideology. 45% had a master's degree in the previous survey. 90% are predominantly white. All of that is to identify that clubbing might be more attractive in other populations. What do you mean? I guess what they're saying is white master's degree holders don't go clubbing, I guess. But this is a ridiculous survey. This tells me nothing. This survey was mostly men.
I have two theories about this. Either women just expect you to be in good shape.
It's so interesting because if I'm just talking about my thoughts on something, I just say it, but I don't dress up in my double-breasted suit and talk about like a bunk psychology study in order to justify my worldview. I just wave my hands and say, hey, is this argument compelling to you? Did you laugh at the joke? No? Okay, move on. Scroll away. I thought about wearing a suit for this video, but instead, out of protest, I'm wearing a hoodie because I'm the opposite of a gentleman, okay? I'm a rough boy. I'm not one to judge a book by its cover. Usually I'm reading on Kindle, but this man, I am not trusting a word he says about dating. What in the Captain Jack Sparrow? This man is a genie. No wonder blacksmithing ranks so highly on men's attractive hobbies. This man, I'll just say it, he's from the past. He's from the past and I don't trust him. Also, he's talking about red pillars and black pillars, and that just confirms my suspicion that this is just bunk bullshit for narrative building. How to prepare for a woman staying over. Brother looks like a senator right now. What are you wearing, dude? He's got his My Fellow Americans ass fit on, dude.
Romantic gestures. We men make many efforts to appear an attractive prospect to a woman.
Here in the survey that women like reading, so he put big subtitles on his videos.
On your bed, make sure there are enough pillows for 2 sleepers. That means 4 pillows, 2 on each side. In the bathroom, a lined bin with a lid is essential. Also in the bathroom, I didn't think I would need to mention this, but from my research, it seems I do. Make sure you have enough toilet paper.
I didn't think you need to mention pillows for the bed if we're talking about stuff we didn't think you'd need to mention. But a lot of this stuff is wiki how I'm having what do I need if a guest is staying over? Not in a romantic context. This is very practical.
In the bathroom, a lined bin with a lid is essential.
Okay, so guys, if you're gonna have a woman over, make sure to have a trash can. I can't tell you how many times I meet a girl at the club, bring her back to my place, things are about to get hot and heavy, and then she asks if I have a trash can, and awkward, because women bring baggage, okay? So in order to have somewhere to put their baggage, you have to have a bin. And if you don't have a bin, then your chances are thin of her staying the night. Also, pillows for the bed.
And it's definitely worth spending money on some high quality toilet paper.
It's worth spending. Is that where we are in Gen Z? It's worth spending money on nice toilet paper?
This dryer has a brushless motor, which dries your hair.
Well, you're just selling that. It is sponsored. Wait, that's just an ad.
Just having any kind of hairdryer is better than none, but if you really want to blow her away, sorry guys.
Dude, he got kind of twisted for a second. It's crazy to make a joke like that in front of all of his constituents. Okay, so I'm not going to show this whole thing, but this video just turns into an ad for a hairdryer when he's talking about essential items. So he's like, all right, essential items for when a lady's coming over. You need pillows, a trash can, and today's sponsor, hairdryer. And then he just talks about the hairdryer for a while. But it's it's not clear now if the whole video is sponsored in some way, because he gets real specific about the hairdryer, obviously, but then goes back to the other essential items, I guess.
As for what's in that nightstand drawer, well, you guys know what should be in that nightstand drawer. In fact, I previously made a whole video on the very topic.
You already know what's in the nightstand drawer. I assume condoms, and then he said he made a whole video about it. And he made a whole video about condoms. There's a part of me, a sick part of me, that wants to watch Senator Z over here talk about condoms for 9 minutes and then have a sponsored video where he talks about the condoms that he uses. God, I I really hope that's not what it is.
It shouldn't take more than a couple of hours a week to clean it yourself, or more than around $150 to hire someone. Make sure you also clear your home of clutter.
A lot of this video is like very common knowledge, and I get like, why do you need to know this common knowledge? Well, you got to get it from somewhere, and maybe people don't have someone in their lives telling them this information. So doing a service where you do tell people this information, I do not think is bad. Presentation needs a little work, I think, but...
In the bedroom, make sure you wash your sheets at least once a week and clean them again if you're expecting a guest.
I think that it's actually good that there's a random guy telling men to like wash their sheets once a week and like clean the bathroom and stuff. That's good. That's not a bad thing.
Some women are incredibly messy and live in utter pigsties themselves.
Whoa, relax. The video is called How to Prepare for a Woman Staying Over. And now there's a section called Mental Preparation. I don't know if I should laugh. It's just kind of a goofy presentation. Like the information itself is not, it's not embarrassing to need this information. I just think the presentation is extremely formal for what it is.
It's important not to put too much pressure or expectation on the overnight stay, and rather just see it as an extension of a date.
Okay. I'm like really nervous about this. So I'm you know, crossing my fingers here for our senator.
Even if you sleep in the same bed together, it doesn't mean she's ready to go all the way.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to show that you are a disciplined and respectful man who is okay with taking things slow.
Okay. Okay. There's like still a little too much like, I guess the whole channel is like this whole gentleman vibe, but it's not terrible advice.
And in this video, I wanted to help you prepare for all manner of situations.
Yeah, I want to be prepared. I want to be prepared.
Be proud of your home and create a comfortable environment so you can just focus on enjoying your time with her. And of course, not to kill your chances by living in a disgusting home.
Okay, it's pretty tame. It's just like, I would say that like, there's a few critical things where things could go horribly off the rails, and I was nervous about that. So at least that's fine. 6 dating green flags she's a good woman. That is a syntactical masterpiece.
Green flags that you should look for in a woman when dating. First green flag you should look for when dating is if she's well presented.
What does that mean? Well presented. Like she's giving a presentation? She's wearing a double-breasted suit. Wait.
Now, what particular style of clothing she should wear is totally down to your personal preference.
Wait. What style of clothing she should wear is totally down to your personal preference. Now, I'm not like a gentleman Z or anything, but I do think that it is her preference.
Personally, I like a more classically feminine appearance. You might be open to a different aesthetic.
To not be obtuse, he probably means what you find attractive is your preference. Sure. Very funny wording.
I have never gone on a second date with a woman who turned up to the first date wearing jeans.
Okay, all right, we found it. This is the traddest man that ever did trad. This man is allergic to jeans.
I wouldn't turn up to a first date wearing jeans. I would dress in a way that demonstrates more effort and more consideration.
There's effort in putting on jeans just like there's effort in putting on a double-breasted jacket that you don't unbutton when you sit down.
So remember this, gentlemen, as you're facing her across the table. Has she dressed appropriately?
Has she dressed appropriate? I mean, come on. What is this?
Hair and makeup to a level that you like.
Has she done her hair and makeup to a level that you like? Mr. Senator, I don't know about these policy positions.
These are all judgments that she's making about you, so don't feel bad to make them about her.
I mean, but the thing is, to the level of like, if she's making them too much about me, we just might not be a match. Number 2, she is present. That's right. Any woman that's in my presence, that's a present. I think he just means about like paying attention to you though. I feel like I'm being interviewed, by the way, for the position of his perfect wife. The way he's sitting across from me and like the way this is framed up and he's got a pen in his hand like he's taking notes. I feel like I'm supposed to be explaining why I'm a good fit for the company. And also I can't see that he's not wearing jeans or pants for that matter. Does he think the pen makes him look refined, dignified, sophisticated, gentlemanly?
On the other hand, if she's making strong eye contact, listening closely, and asking follow-up questions.
Of course it's a Mad Men clip. You just know the type, man. Not to like paint with a broad brush, but okay. I mean, a lot of this stuff is, it's basically just like kind of basic out of the box starter kit, like traditionalism. Megatrad booster box. You just became a traditional refined man. So now here's the things you need to know to keep that good thing going. Painting with a little bit of a broad brush. I don't think being a gentleman means all of these things. Also, there's a video called The Difference Between a Gentleman and a Simp. I just feel like this language just tells me so much. But let's look at this TikTok.
Always write words and sentences in full with correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation.
More like how to text like boring. Who cares, man? It's silly. That's a silly thing to care about. It's like, if it's a private text, then what does it matter?
In the early days of texting, the telephone keypad...
Oh, okay, thank you. No, this is like, this is important. So he's just gonna explain, this is so fucking, God, this is exhausting. He's just gonna be like, in the old phones, they had to do T9, and so like words, LOL, everything was shortened because it was more convenient. There's no reason to speak like that now if you're a dignified gentleman, but it kind of misses the fact that language evolves and it's like born out of those things. Like if I show you a save icon, it's of a floppy disk, and most of the people watching this video have never fucking touched a floppy disk, but it's become an icon of it means something. If someone texts LOL, yeah, it meant laughing out loud on AIM in like 1999, but now it means that you're not laughing. Now it means that you're not even smirking. Now it means that you're looking at your phone and you just don't want your friend to hate you. So you say LOL as a way to say, I love you, friend, and I want us to continue having an engaging friendship. And the fact that you sent me something and thought of me in this moment, that deserves an update. That deserves a little LOL for me, despite the fact that I didn't even crack a smirk. In order to tell someone that you're laughing in 2024, you have to use so many words to talk about how you're falling out of your seat, you're crying, milk is fucking going through your nose, and I still won't believe you. And we just accept that as a society.
Made spelling words in full rather laborious, so abbreviations became popular.
Abbreviations became popular. And that is why, my fellow Americans, I am running for Senator of Texting. Oh, God, this guy rules.
But now, smartphones have QWERTY keyboards, and even correct your spelling automatically.
What? Is he describing this to someone who just got out of a time machine? From like the very recent past. Okay, you had smartphones in your time, right? Okay, so now they correct spelling. It is crazy.
If after sending a text you notice that you made a mistake, you can send a follow-up message using an asterisk to provide a correction.
This is like if you're texting your boss. And also nowadays, this is already outdated because you can just edit most texts.
Text speak is now outdated and immature. So are acronyms like LOL, LMAO, and ROFL.
What year is this man? I'm convinced this man is not from our time. There is not a 20-something alive, a member of Gen Z who has ever typed ROFL. At no point did they type that. It was on the way out when they were coming in. It's gone. And it's not coming back. It's dead. No one has rolled on the floor laughing since 2003.
You can just say, that made me laugh.
You can just say, that made me laugh, or I am mildly amused by your text message. Elections are coming up and we need your support. Please click the link in my message to donate to my campaign.
And many teenagers choose hairstyles that leave hair on their face or hair that is too long and disheveled.
Now, what does he think about teenagers today? I would say that's teenagers just be doing teenager things. Who cares? They're coming into their own identities and trying stuff out.
That doesn't send a message to the world that you are ready to be taken seriously.
Well, they're not because they're teenagers.
I think it's worth choosing a classic hairstyle like a crew cut, pompadour, or side part.
All right, James, what hairstyle should I wear? Because my hair doesn't do those things, okay?
If you are still relying on your parents for money, ask them to book you more regular haircuts every month.
If a single teenager follows his advice, they are going to get clowned to high heaven. He doesn't even look like a cop. He looks like a third royal, like the off brother, the other one, you know? Like he's related to someone famous. We got Richie Haircut McGee over here, Mr. Fancy Pants Ass. If I can't look good, no one can have video. Oh, that's so good. I'm glad the teens are revolting.
Today, women are actually making videos on the internet telling you exactly what they like and what they don't like. You might have come across this term, the ick.
This is like a chat GPT bot that was trained on like manosphere videos explaining modern social decorum. I had to do some sleuthing. I did a YouTube search and I found the video where he talks more about texting because I just want to get more advice from him. Just, you know, because I want to learn. Great seeing you. LOL. Was great. Okay, same number of letters, by the way, as the word was. Great to see you too, but oh my God, gotta go. Talk to you later. Sorry, these are the old runes that I can decipher because I'm a millennial. So I just did that for you guys, my Gen Z viewers. But this is, they're not really saying anything. You'd never say this much stuff.
Should a gentleman use emojis when texting? Overall, it is not very gentlemanly to rely on emojis. If you do use them, stick to the basics, like the smiling face, laughing face, or winking face.
If you do use, this is like how he's describing this the way that someone would describe belts, you know, or like suit jackets or tie knots. But it's emojis. You don't always want to use a double Windsor. Sometimes a half Windsor will do. In the same energy of a smiley is good, crying laughing emoji is fine. Under no circumstances should you use the winky face.
Personally, I never use slang terms like bro, homie, or sup.
I gotta run that back. Bro, homie. I use terms like my fellow Americans.
Now let's talk about the kinds of text messages a gentleman sends.
Okay, the kinds of texts a gentleman sends.
Texting is inherently casual. It is the most casual form of communication we have.
Which is why you shouldn't be concerned with spelling out all the words.
Texting is mostly a utility. For genuine conversations, the phone or in person is much better.
I'm so confused as to like the audience for this.
Certain types of conversations that should never be had via text. If you need to deliver bad news, invite them to a video call if you can't get together in person.
I totally know what he means. It's so funny to like send somebody a Zoom for like an intervention.
If you are feeling emotional or angry, you should take the time to cool down before sending a text message.
Most of the time he has like totally mid advice that like doesn't really matter. And then every now and again he says something crazy. And then other times it's bad. Sometimes it's bad. Or it's like he's arrived at the right destination from the wrong route.
You should wait no more than 2 hours to respond to a message.
How did the gentleman get into this, like, how long to text back discourse?
Even if the text message is more general chit-chat, it is rude to ignore them for more than 2 hours.
That's crazy, bro. Like, people have lives.
People are on their phones all the time. If they want to respond, they will. If they don't respond within what you would consider to be a fair time frame, consider if this is a mutually beneficial exchange.
Based on his advice, I should not talk to Jordan because we like both text each other and like never text each other back until we like need to text each other again.
Read receipts are an optional feature on iMessage.
This guy, like this image with read receipts is so funny to me.
I recommend you do not turn on read receipts unless you always reply promptly to messages. When a person sees that you have read their message but have not replied, they can feel ignored and rejected.
Yeah, or if someone asks you a complex question, sometimes it's like, if someone's asking me advice on something, it would take like 5 paragraphs sometimes to answer it, but like you can communicate much more quickly because you don't have to worry about tone and things like that, but whatever.
And they say 7 p.m. is good, see you there. You can send them a thumbs up reaction to confirm. You can also use the heart reaction for the same purpose, although personally, I only use that with either my mother or with a romantic interest.
That gives me the same vibe as like, I'm not allowed to be in a room alone with a woman that's not my wife out of respect, because I don't know what'll happen. If I send a heart reaction to just a friend, well, then she's not just a friend, okay? Because I love her. I'm sending her a whole ass heart. My love is only for my mom and my girlfriend. All my homies get heart reactions. If you are one of my friends, one of my homies, which is a word that I use, I'm giving you one of these. I've got to do a lot of thinking about my communication style. I think I've been flirting with way too many of my friends. I'm just going to say, dude, keep doing what you're doing, whatever, it's fine. Be a little less prescriptive. And also, Gent Z does not roll off the tongue. It is very hard to say. If you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a comment that says, "This video made me laugh," and make it look as formal as possible. No informal messages in the comments. Use proper punctuation. None of that LOL, ROFL shit. Okay? Stay gold, everybody.